Part 2. Love finds you in middle of nowhere. While Isabel was still in admiration of her surroundings, in the nearby thickets emerged a Stateque, handsome man whose posture was like that of a Greek god. He was so captivating that the passers-by gasped at his beauty. He was so striking that no one could take their eyes off his good looks. His shoulders and chest pushed against his unbuttoned shirt was captivating. His smoldering gaze could draw one's eyes in the feeling of power invisibly from his curls to his square jawline. This man was statesque in every sense. His name was Gino. He had been admiring the beauty of Isabel from distance. Isabel herself had striking features. She had spark in her eyes and a radiant smile which lit up the room every time she enters, a lady with glossy skin. She carried herself with an elegant demeanor. Her hair was midnight black and it flowed over her shoulders. Her eyebrows were slender and had velvety eyelashes. She had pouting lips, a soothing voice, and she was wasp-waisted. Her delicate ears framed a button nose. A set of dazzling white teeth gleamed every time she smiled when she walked back to her house, which was close by the sea. She lived with her 2 dogs, which were German shepherds. She went to the garden and cut a handful of rosemary. She rubbed a piece between her finger and thumb and pressed it to her nose. The smell of home assaulted her in a flood of memory. It made her giddy with nostalgia. And she closed her eyes for a moment, savoring both the pleasure and the pain, for they were equal in parts. She sighed with resignation. There was no point getting emotional over something lost in the past, when the present gave her so much to be grateful for. She returned to the dining room and sprinkled sprigs of rosemary over the tablecloth. Sure, she'd been living in Italy for almost all her life. As she was in her mid-40s, she lost her husband, who died in shipwreck accident. Isabel always had an illusion that her husband was not gone, as she could not fathom the thought of losing him. Every day she lived with the thought that Luca, her late husband, was still alive. She had vowed not to fall in love again, because they were soulmates who had known each other at a younger age. They attended school together, and during their prime teens they graduated and both achieved degrees, although they went separate ways after several years. They bumped into each and later rekindled their relationship, and eventually got married and lived happily until the fateful day that took Luca's life. Since then, her life became so difficult as she could not let go of the past. It took her another year to finally let go of the past and start socializing more with friends, taking walks to the park, going to museums, attending concerts, and so forth. TBC.